Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel, and it's finally here. I've seen your guys' comments, and today I'm breaking down all the settings and details you need to know for Hunt Showdown 1896. Figuring out the right controller settings has not been easy, especially if you're trying to replicate your settings pre-update, and I'll be sharing my updated settings, but more importantly, there are two major sensitivity issues going on that you need to know about to help determine your settings. And if you weren't aware of these, they're likely just completely messing up your aim, so let's go ahead and get into it. So if you actually don't use the aim boost in Hunt for your sensitivities, this actually doesn't affect you at all. But if you used my settings or aim boost before, things are completely fucked up right now. The Y-axis aim boost has been completely removed, which basically makes it feel really sticky and inconsistent, like hitting a patch of mud as soon as you start aiming up or down. Another example of how this affects your aim is specifically with diagonal movements. As you can see here, my flicking with the Bornheim isn't consistent. If most of the diagonal movement is in the x-axis, it's very quick, versus if I'm doing more of an upward diagonal flick, where most of the movement is in the y-axis, it's a lot slower. And the crazy thing is, this change wasn't accidental. It's not a bug or anything, it was completely intentional, even though it reduces our control over our aim, which is really ironic to me considering the big controller update back in December of 2023 was to give us more control over our aim by giving us more customization to the aim boost, which was previously known as turning extra strength. But not only that, this has happened before in past events where the axis got messed up for both axes and also the y-axis, and it was fixed because it was considered a bug. They promised to bring back the option to enable or disable y-axis boost, but only in the next major update after the current event, which I got confirmed through Scott on Twitter. And who knows how long that's going to take, and this is super frustrating how console settings always get hit with these kind of issues, what feels like every update for a lot of people. And the next biggest issue, I haven't seen a single person mention this at all anywhere on Facebook, the Discord, Reddit, or anything, but from day one of the event, it felt like my x-axis was way faster even though I copied my exact settings from before the update. I feel like my horizontal is like really fucking fast.
I mean, it might be. You can turn it down.
I think my vertical is too fast now. I literally watched my old settings video to go ahead and copy and paste basically all my sensitivity values and stuff like that. And during close and long range fights, since the update, I kept overcompensating my aim, which is typically an issue that you start to have when your sensitivities are too fast. And I mentioned that in my old video, that was an issue I had, when I first started playing Hunt. So to confirm this, I compared a clip from 4 months ago during the second to last event, where I did a 180-degree turn and compared it with a current shooting range test. So as you can see, the turn is noticeably faster, and I'll even slow it down, but even though my sensitivity values were the same, specifically the x-axis, which for this one would be the lowered state, was set to 0.55. And that's what it was set to in both of these clips, because my old video, I haven't changed my settings at all, even from before I posted that old sensitivity video. So this suggests that they overall just increased the speed of all sensitivities, or possibly adjusted the maximum sensitivity, like if they increased or decreased actually the maximum sensitivity value, that would inherently make every value under that faster. But either way, it's clear that something changed. So now that I've gone over what is making it more difficult to replicate your old settings, what do we do about it? Well, I made my sensitivity even slower, which is kind of crazy to say. But how much slower? Because obviously the sensitivity right now is not lined up and is faster than what it was before. So what I did was I took the comparison with the 180 degree like turn with my old settings and compared it every time with a new 180 every time I decreased my x-axis by 0.05, or pretty much every notch. And to make that as accurate as possible, when I did this in the shooting range, I lined up my compass with the exact same direction I was facing in the old clip, and obviously ended in the same direction in the old clip, so I can make this as accurate as possible. So going down from 0.55 in the previous clips, we went down to 0.50, and it was still a little bit off, followed by 0.45, which was off by still a bit, but it was a little bit better, and followed by 0.40, which was lined up as perfectly as it could possibly get compared to my old sensitivity. So we had to bump it down by 0.15, which is basically 3 notches, and you can apply that same concept to all your other x-axes, which would be your shoulder aim and your ADS, to get a similar sensitivity to how it used to be. Now hopefully all of that information really helps you hone in on your sensitivity and what's best for you. But now I'll go over my sensitivities and all of my personal settings. I'm not going to dive super in depth with all of them because a lot of them should be self-explanatory. But Gunslinger, I've always played on Gunslinger. I just don't want to press R3 to be able to aim down sight. I'd rather just hit L2 to ADS and just hit fire basically at will. I've always had auto interact on. If you don't know what auto interact is, that basically allows you to be able to just hold square and you will then loot toolboxes, ammo boxes, and interact with anything that you would normally press square with, or X if you're on Xbox. I play with aim assist off, and my inner dead zones for both sticks is 0.1. My input curve is linear, because that's what it was most like when the turning extra strength was around, so a lot of the OGs typically play on linear as far as I'm aware, and that's what feels the best for me. And aim boost threshold is 90. So my sensitivities for the lowered state is 0.40 for the horizontal axis, 1.40 for the vertical axis, and aim boost strength is 4.5, aim boost delay is 0, and aim boost ramp time is 0.10. My sensitivities for the shoulder aim is 0.35 for the horizontal axis, 1.30 for the vertical axis, and again the aim boost strength is 4.5, the aim boost delay is 0, and the aim boost ramp time is 0.10. And for my aim down sight sensitivities, my ADS input is hold, my horizontal axis is 0.30, my vertical axis is 1.05, and my aim boost strength is 3.0, aim boost delay is 0, and aim boost ramp time is again 0.10. My scope sensitivity multiplier is all default, except at one point I had messed with the sniper multiplier and I just left it a little bit slower, and my flight settings are just absolute. So if you want, you can pause these next couple of pages of my settings to look at them and copy them if you want, but my game settings, I play on typically east and west, and I do really like the centered crosshair. It just feels better and a lot more natural now that we have the option, so I am playing with the centered crosshair now. And the only thing to note is with the lowered and shoulder aim field of views, if they're not both on default, basically you'll have a little bit of some kind of inward zoom and outward zoom whenever you're going back and forth between sprinting and not sprinting, and I really don't like that, so that's why they're both the default, because I'd rather just have the same POV the entire time. And these are my HUD settings. Again, if you want to take a screenshot or pause this to take a closer look, you can, but the only thing to note is I don't auto hide my ammo because I want to see that at all times, and the most important thing is excluding doors and windows at the very bottom there for your interactable objects being highlighted. So what that does is it basically allows you to be able to see through doors and windows or window shutters a lot easier because you don't have the physical door and window shutters like glowing, which can be very distracting when you're trying to peek through very small cracks. And I'll kind of showcase a little clip of that here, but it's just too distracting, and I've always appreciated it off. Everybody I know plays with, or not off, but everybody I know and myself plays with, you know, the doors and the windows not being highlighted. And these are my audio settings if you really want to see that as well. I really just have the music turned down, and that's really it. And the last tip that I would have for you, if you're still trying to figure out what sensitivity works best for you, and you know you're trying to test your sensitivities that you're changing, is to just load into a real match of bounty hunt, and just, you know, whether you're with a team or you're solo, doesn't matter, just go in with double silencers like silenced federally and a silenced negant, and just shoot everything in sight. Shoot all the AI, shoot the hives, armored, grunts, you name it, because it gives you real target practice, because they're obviously moving, so you have to micro adjust to get all the headshots, and then you can just hit a resupply and head towards the bounty and get involved into some actual PvP. But it's a good way to warm up and to really know if those sensitivities are really working for you. So please like, subscribe, and please share this with a friend, especially if you know someone that is maybe struggling with their sensitivities and just needs to fine-tune things a little bit more. And let me know if you try my sensitivities. In my last video that I made about controller settings and all that, a lot of you guys, to my surprise, really tried and enjoyed my sensitivity and said that it really helped you with your aim. And I don't really have words. It makes me feel really good about what I'm doing, that it's really helping a lot of people, and it is my best performing video. So thank you guys so much for the support. It really means a lot, and I hope this video really helps you for Hunt Showdown 1896. So please let me know if you try these settings in, you know, this new update, and if it feels similar, or if you haven't, you know, used my settings before, let me know how they feel now. And last but not least, stay safe in Mammoth's Gultch.